Okay, we're going to start again. And the reason I had to break off that other one, I have two internet connections. One's for the house, and one is for my little wireless device that I use. This little baby here. This is the one that I have the best luck with. Okay, so anyway, sorry about that. It started off good, and then it just sort of went down the tubes on me there. Okay, so good afternoon to you. It's a nice Sunday day here in Louisiana. There it was. I didn't do much. Got outside, walked around, and picked up a few sticks and twigs and stuff like that. Get them out of the yard. But I want to talk to you about a word that is seldom used in the trucking world. Lots of other four-letter words. This is not a four-letter word, but there's a lot of four-letter words used out there in the trucking world, and this is not one of them. But it's very important, extremely important. I think this word here will make or break you as a truck driver, as a career, as a career. Okay? What could that word possibly be? Well, motivation. Motivation. That's why we do things, right? Because we're motivated. We get up in the morning. Why? Because we're motivated. Because if we don't, as men anyway, if we don't get up in the morning, we're liable to have an accident in that bed. So we get up, and where do we go? We go to the bathroom. We're motivated. That bladder is telling us, get up out of the bed, walk to the bathroom, and relieve yourself. Then you can go back and lay down. That's what it is. Motivation. Things motivate us, right? They motivate us. So let me just come over here. I've got to get a little thing set up here. Okay, so now motivation. But what is motivation? Okay, what's your motivation? Every person who seeks employment as a truck driver has a reason, right? I had a reason. Back in 1995 when I started driving, I had a reason. Now, my reason may not have been the same as yours, but we have a reason. We have a motivation to get up and go do things. Okay? Now, is that motivation strong enough to carry us through? That's something we have to think about. Is it strong enough? Do you have enough motivation to put up with all of the things that you're going to have to put up with? Okay? Yep. So we have to think about why we're going to do what we do. The reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. Okay, motivation. There you go. Maybe you're in a dead-end job that you didn't see there was any promotion for you, Maybe it was just something that you didn't like doing and you wanted to try something else. That's your motivation, right? It is important that you have a lot of motivation when it comes to truck driving, because there's so many things that work against you. All right. Some people, they drive a truck. It's the only thing they know how to do. They cannot do anything else. So their motivation is, I either drive a truck or I go hungry or I'm homeless. I'm this, I'm that. So my motivation is I don't want to be homeless, hungry, so I'll drive that truck so I can make a living for myself and hopefully for your family too. So motivation, you have to have a tremendous amount of motivation, because if you don't, you sort of set yourself up for failure. You're going to fail if you don't have enough motivation to offset the things that happen that you don't like. Okay? I mean, it's like when you've been out here on the road long enough, there's the pay. Maybe you make a lot of money, right? Driving a truck. Then you have all of those obligations, those things that you have to do to earn that money, right? So now, what happens when those obligations get heavier? It plays on that motivation. Do you have enough motivation to offset the aggravation, the things that you don't like? Okay? That's what it's about. Having the motivation to deal with all of those things that you're going to have when you drive a truck. You're going to have DOT inspections. You're going to be running tight to the wire. And that light down there is going to say, "Come on in, I want to talk to you." All right? That's an aggravation, because you're trying to get somewhere and they're trying to make sure you're safe, right? So they're going to drag you in, check you out to make sure you're okay. So you have to have a lot of motivation to deal with circumstances that are beyond your control. Say you're a company driver, because that's what I was. I never lease purchaser, owner, operator, always company driver. And it always aggravated me when my pay, being related to how many miles I drive, gets cut a little bit because I have to have the truck worked on, right? If the truck wheels are not moving, you're not making any money. So that's an aggravation, and you have to have a lot of motivation to say, I can deal with that. I can put up with that. My motivation is strong. I want to be a great truck driver and do all the right things and make that money. Okay? So it is. It's motivation is probably the single most important thing anyone needs to have in any job, no matter what it is. But in particular, trucking. So many things are beyond your control. You just cannot control when that tire's going to blow out, right? Looked good this morning when you did your inspection, right? You got in the truck and you took off. You looked at that watch and you said, I can just make it, all right? And so you get 100 miles down the road or 100 miles from where you have to go, and boom, goes that tire. Man. So now I have to stop and get it fixed. And that's going to put you late. Or that's going to make you not get to where you was hoping to be to take your 10-hour break or your 30-minute break or whatever it is that you have to do. All right. So things that are out of your control, you have to have a lot of motivation to deal with those things, because they're going to be there. They're going to happen to you. So that's one of the words that I think is the most important that people can get into: motivation. You got to have it. If you don't have it, you're not going to be very successful at driving a truck. And there's some other things I'll talk about the next time I do this, but I wanted to get the word motivation out there because you don't hear about that too much. And it is such a interesting word and such a important word for anyone driving a truck or any other job. Okay, now I'm going to bring something up that I watched a Truckers Coach a couple of days ago, had a video out, and so I wanted to put that out. Let me see where my camera at here. There we go. He was talking about no one should pay some truck driver for information, right? And I absolutely agree with him on that. I tell you, no one, absolutely no one, I don't care how desperate you are, should pay money to a truck driver for information on how to obtain a CDL or what life out on the road is like. You don't need to pay for that, you know. How do you get a CDL? My God, you can call around, right? Call a trucking company, see if they have a training program. Look up on the internet, truck driving schools, right? They're going to tell you all the information you have to have. Do not pay someone to tell you how to get a CDL. It's a waste of money. But I think there's an expression, a sucker's born every, minute, you know? So some are going to do that. They're just going to do it. Not a thing you, nor I, or anyone else can say to them that's going to prevent them from handing over that money to somebody who's going to take it to tell them, well, here's what you got to do, you know. So, for goodness sakes, if any of you guys are thinking about getting a truck, some of you might be watching someone else's channel, you know, and you happen to stumble on this one. You don't want to pay. You don't want to pay for something that you can get for free. It's just not there, okay? Let's see. I've got something else I want to talk to you about. Okay, yeah. Now this next little thing, it's a precautionary thing, because when you say something, it can have ramifications for you. And when I was watching the Truckers Coach, you know, I do believe he was calling this guy RVT a sexual predator, or he described him as a predator. Very slippery slope, because if, in my opinion, I'm not a lawyer, I'm just looking at it from protecting my rear end, but I would be careful, because you call someone a sexual predator. He's not a celebrity. This guy RVT is a celebrity maybe in his mind or something like that, but, you know, he's a private individual who drives a truck. And if he says, you know, I can show that I did not get this job because of what someone said about me, it's not true. But I lost out on a job. I lost out on some money, an advancement, an opportunity, okay? And if they can tie that to what was said about them, such as sexual predator, all right, he can say, this guy over here, he put it out that this is what I was. And it affected me, my income, my livelihood. So, just as a caution about calling someone a predator, I would stay away from that as far as I can get, because you don't want to have someone coming back on you, all right? So you don't want to do that. Now, I did look at RVT's thing, and, you know, because you want to sort of get a feel for things. And I seen He had this woman with him, but she wasn't what I noticed at first. What I noticed first was that he had trimmed his beard up, got rid of his long hair, and put this thing, I don't know what it's called, but it's an interesting headdress, right? A headpiece. I don't know what you would call it. I thought it was unique. I'll use the word unique. And then I noticed that this woman over here, and then I was listening to his video clip and calling her Red Hurricane, and I think he said she was like 42 years old, and then Truckers Coach said that she had lost her husband a few months back, 5 or 6 months back. I mean, I don't know her story. It's not for me to know. But just thinking about it is in passing. If she's 42 years old, you know, she's probably old enough to quickly get a handle on her situation and guard herself from being taken advantage of, you know. So, I mean, that's just it. I mean, I looked at the RVT's little clip, and I looked at the Truckers Coach clip, and like I say, I certainly agree with Truckers Coach on that, paying somebody to go out and give you information. It's just totally so unnecessary, you know. It's just, it just gets right by me why someone would do that. But, you know, like I said, there's an expression out there, a sucker's born every minute or something like that, you know. So people are going to do it. They're going to do it. They're going to pay that money. Okay, well, I don't want to stay on this too long. I just wanted to touch base on a couple of things. And so now I'm going to hop off before my voice goes away. For all of you out there who drive, be safe out on the road. Make lots of money. Get home to your family and your friends. Spend some of that money, okay? Spend some of that money. If by chance someone who is thinking about becoming a truck driver gets a hold of this clip and watches it all the way through, do your best to maintain the highest motivation level you can, because you are going to need it. You will need it. Trucking will stress you out. There are so many things that can go against you that you have no control over. So, motivation is the single most important thing you're going to need. You've got to have it. All right, well, let me back out of here. I think I've been on about almost 19 minutes, and that's plenty enough time for people to get bored. So, I am going to stop this thing, and we'll see how it goes.